Hello and welcome. I'm Arithix, and today we're going to be taking a look at an overview of everything I have from my LEGO project so far. Now, it isn't much, but everyone's got to start somewhere. So pretty much at the moment, I have the doubled Sanctum Sanctorum on the right, I have the Avengers Tower in the centre, and then the Daily Bugle on the left there. I do also want to talk about my plans, but first I want to go into some of the details that I've managed to include in this display so far. I've tried my best to create as many cool scenes and Easter eggs and just little details, so let's zoom right in. So at the top of our Daily Bugle, we obviously have Firestar. That is pretty much how you're told to do it in the instructions. I think she looks really cool up there. I really like this effect with the flames going backwards. I do I kind of want to recreate that with some other characters. Maybe not with as many flames, but I think Iron Man's trail needs to be a bit longer. It's down here. It's just the one stud, which looks fine, but I think a nice sharper end trail would be cool. Then we have Doc Ock here. Now, this scene is meant to sort of be reminiscent of the second Spider-Man film, where Doc Ock takes Aunt May up the side of a building, and he's being combated by the Iron Spider suit and Storm here, which I know doesn't make a lot of sense, but Storm I felt needed to be flying, and I was running out of space to put flying characters, so she went there. And the Iron Spider is one of the few. I have Spider-Man all over the place, and he was one of the few left to fight Doc Ock up here. If I manage to get myself one of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Men, which I should be able to get fairly soon, then he will probably be replaced with that one. As we go down, we see we've got the Green Goblin here. Now, in the set, it tells you to build it so he's coming out of Peter Parker's office, but I wanted to recreate the scene where he flies out of J. Jonah Jameson's office, I believe also in the second... No, it's in the first Spider-Man film, sorry. Green Goblin isn't in the second Spider-Man film. On the next floor, one of the reasons I wanted to include Green Goblin up there as well was so I can have this, the meme of Spider-Man sitting in an office with a picture of himself on the wall. I really liked that meme, so I loved that they included that detail in the set, and I didn't want to hide it behind all of this chaos going on here. On the fire escape, we actually have Gwen up here, Spider-Gwen. The hood's not quite on straight, hold on. There we go. So Spider-Gwen is up here. She's fighting Venom as they sort of clash down the fire escape. Then we have my favourite Spider-Man suit. I know the Lego version may not look too impressive, but all of those green parts glow on the actual suit. I absolutely love it. And he's fighting Carnage. And then down at the bottom here we have a second Green Goblin, because I had a second one and I don't have nearly enough bad guys yet. And he's fighting Miles, who is swinging across. And then on this side we have Sandman and our regular old Spider-Man about to duke it out in the street. And one of our Daily Bugle employees running away while Loki has a coffee from a TVA mug in an alleyway. Because why not? I love the Loki TV show, and I wanted to include him somewhere in this set, and I kind of wanted him to be out of the way so that he's not, he's time traveler and not meant to interact with all the chaos that's going on. And then over here we have Thor throwing his hammer directly into a Chitauri in front of the newsstand, who is sort of helpless and trapped in there. On the street over here we have our ice cream truck, or our ice slushy truck, slushy machine truck maybe, I think. And then on here we have Captain America jumping over a car to throw his shield at a Chitauri. It's supposed to be reminiscent of the first Avengers film, where where the police officers are, trying to debate what to do, and then he comes out, tells them what to do, they don't listen, so he jumps over a car, beats up a bunch of Chitauri, and then they all immediately do exactly as he says. And then moving on to the Avengers Tower, we'll start at the bottom. So I'd actually have this sort of 8-wide spacer plate here, just because the Daily Bugle and the Avengers Tower do not want to fit together. That Daily Bugle sign does sort of poke right into the side of the Avengers Tower. So this little spacer piece here just keeps them far enough apart that they don't mash up too well, but that space was looking a little empty, so I put Iron Man in his car from the Iron Man Armory. We have Whiplash here fighting Iron Man and War Machine, just like in the second Iron Man film. I know they didn't do it in front of the Avengers Tower, but at the moment I don't have like a big dome garden where they can fight like they do in the movie. Over here we have Tony Stark walking out of the Avengers Tower holding the briefcase. Pretty much, I think there is a scene in the instruction manual just for that, exactly like that. And then we also have out front, we have the Hulk about to punch one of the, and I cannot for the life of me remember what these things are called. I've just called them space whales. So he's about to punch a space whale in the face. Just like, you know, when he says, "I'm always angry," and then punches the big space whale straight in the face and stops it in its tracks. Then we have She-Hulk back here with Wolverine. They're just sort of running into the fray. She's about to call someone, apparently. And Wolverine is running, at the moment, towards no one. And up here, this is actually one of my favourite scenes that I've managed to recreate. I mentioned it in the Sanctum Sanctorum video that I have Hawkeye up here. And focus on him. And he's firing his arrow at Loki, recreating that scene where Loki catches the arrow and then it explodes in his face. He should be a lot higher up because I believe he lands very high up on the Stark Tower, back when it was that. But you know, I found that little piece that looks like an arrow, and it lined up really well. It isn't the strongest connection. This has already fallen out once, and it's sort of falling out again. So it is not the most stable of connections. Up here we have the scene in Avengers where Black Widow jumps off of a skyscraper onto a Chitauri. Oh no, she gets a jump up from Cap. She jumps on his shield and then he boosts her up, and she jumps on the Chitauri speeder and takes control of it. Over this side we have Wong, who is coming to help Doctor Strange, who's being chased by Eben Moore, who this is supposed to be sort of Infinity War, when Eben Moore is chasing Doctor Strange around the city. Then you've got Spider-Man over here being, you know, told to help the wizard. And then Wong is just coming to sort of back him up. And obviously then you've got, what's his face over here? The big eye. You've got the scene from the set itself, which I think is too cool not to include, which is Tony Stark jumping down, where I think it's the Mark 7, I want to say. Comes, you know, flying down and connects to him, and he lands, and even though physics would not allow it to happen, even in a superhero movie, that decelerating that fast would have definitely caused some damage. But it is one of the coolest scenes in Marvel, so you can't really call out the physics too much. Then we have, again, another Iron Man up here flying with War Machine. I just like the sort of dynamic flying position that you're able to get with both of them sort of following each other. Then up here we have a Quinjet, which I've precariously sort of balanced on these transparent pieces so that it looks like it's taking off. I do need to put someone in there because at the moment it's flying itself, although I'm sure they're probably perfectly capable of doing that, especially by the later Avengers movies. Up here I have Miles doing some skateboarding off the roof. I just thought this curve was too perfect of a skate ramp for him to pass up, and him being one of the Spider-Men is one of the few people who actually could, you know, practically skateboard in this manner on top of a skyscraper. And then up here we have Dr. Eric Selvig using the machine, which beams up into the sky and allows the giant space whales to come in. I've shown off the Sanctum before, so obviously you've got Agatha versus Scarlet Witch at the back, Zombie Strange versus Scarlet Witch at the front, Hawkeye there. I've also added Moon Knight at the top here. Captain America, or Falcon, once he's become the Captain America, flying around the city. Just again, another flying minifigure. I really like the pieces that allow you to have lots of flying in the city. I think it adds a lot of dynamic positions that you can have. Down here we have Hawkeye. And he's actually, I did mention this in the Sanctum Sanctorum, but we have Kate Bishop here saving the dog from being hit by a taxi. You have Mordo versus Evil Strange down here, which again doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense, but you know, I wanted to use the minifigures, and everyone's, you know, normal Doctor Strange is otherwise already occupied. And then I've added down the side Daredevil and Mr. Knight jumping into the fray, and then obviously Spider-Ham is there as well. So that's pretty much all of the details that I've managed to include in this display so far. I'm pretty happy with how it's come out. Obviously there's a long way to go, a lot of buildings to build, a lot of customizing to happen. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about Bob. So I plan to keep building up Bob's army. At the moment, he has his army of smiley-faced minifigures, including Steve, Dave, and many more. I've started to collect some Blacktron minifigures at the back here. I will buy more of them, a lot more. His Blacktron army is one of his biggest military powers. I will also be collecting other minifigures, some classic ones, some new ones, CMFs, Marvel figures, you name it. I'm going to try my best to collect as many of them as possible for the display. Right, well, coming back to these two buildings here, I do have some plans for these as well. The Daily Bugle over here, I am planning on doubling this and getting a second set so that I can make it a little bit wider and a little bit deeper, and maybe one floor taller as well. For the Avengers Tower, now I didn't think that buying a second set for this one was the way to go to make it taller. It's just a very complicated set with very specific angles, and the scale of it works really well for what it is. And if you make it taller, then you have to make the landing platform longer, and it's a bit more of a headache. I have seen people online have made, like in the films, the Avengers Tower is on top of sort of a cut-off MetLife building. And it's sort of stacked on top of that. Some people online have done some cool mocks of that. So that's sort of the route I think I'm going to go. Put a MetLife style building on the bottom. I want to put a lobby in there, a bit like there is on the base floor of this. Do something else with the lobby that's in there at the moment. And then on the floor above that, because I want to have two floors, I'm going to have an Iron Man armory with as many of the Iron Man suits as I can find. There are also some Marvel specific buildings, mocks, that I wanted to create. I think I'll probably start with something like the Daredevil office. You've also, like his lawyer office, you could also do Jessica Jones' detective office. You could do sort of an AIM building or a Roxxon Tower, or Oscorp, just to get some villainous or or bad guys, if you will. You could do Peter Parker's apartment with the pizzeria at the base of it, even though he was always late, which he wouldn't have been if the pizzeria was actually at the bottom of his apartment building. I'd love to do the X-Men mansion like up on a hill somewhere. Put like the raft or the cube in a sort of sea or water area. Could do Aunt May's house in a more residential area. There really is no real limit to what we could do with Marvel. There's so many different buildings. The Bar with No Name also would be really cool to recreate in Lego. But then there's also the other theme that I've been collecting a lot of recently, which is Animal Crossing. Once I complete my Animal Crossing collection, then I can start working on the Animal Crossing section of the display. I've not decided how many base plates it's going to be yet, but once I've got all those sets, I can start to plan that out. So I've got 2 so far. I think there's 5 in total, so 3 more to go. I will also be continuing to buy and review sets. I mentioned earlier that I wanted to buy the Ninjago City Gardens set. I want to get the Ghostbusters HQ, which I missed out on, kind of essential for, a city with a lot of pop culture stuff in it. I also plan on keeping up my collection of the Animal Crossing sets and various other sets that will go, hopefully, mostly into the display. There will be a couple of, just things that are display pieces for my shelves, but mostly going to be stuff for the city. Some mocks for themes that I'm doing first include a secret base for Alpha Team, a custom Fort Legorito, for those of you that remember that set, very classic, absolutely loved it as a kid, a custom Nexo Knights castle, an Octan gas station or HQ, a Blacktron outpost, Black Falcon's castle, and some other custom Lego City buildings based on actual Lego sets, in some cases some of the old ones, like the old police station, but I do actually really like the new fire station. I think that as a full building could be really cool. I also plan on doing more pop culture mocks, some that I wish to include, sort of the first ones that I might be working on could be the Daredevil lawyer office, as I mentioned before, a Red Rocket gas station from Fallout, the apartment building from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, or maybe the apartment building from How I Met Your Mother with McLaren's bar at the bottom of it. A Lego Green Hill Zone for Sonic, Kim's Convenience Store, and many, many more. I have a big spreadsheet full of things to be included on that one. Can't forget Bob though. I will hopefully also be starting to build Bob's HQ this year as well. I'm planning on building it on a 48 by 48 base plate so it can be really wide and hopefully really tall as well, so you can look out over his city. I'm also in the process of washing all of my old Lego. I've moved house a lot in the last few years, and sometimes my Lego's been stored in garages and things, and are not in the cleanest of conditions, so I need to wash a lot of my Lego before I can use it. Some of it's alright, but most of it does need to be run through the wash. I'm also going to be washing a lot of my minifigures, and soon I'm planning on making a video on those minifigures as I attempt to rebuild as many of the classic minifigures that I have in my collection for the MOC going forward. So that's pretty much everything you can expect to see in the future from me. If you want to keep up with this project or support the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Drop us a like if you've enjoyed this video and want to see more. Every thumbs up really does help. So stay tuned for more to come. But in the meantime, stay cool, keep building, and I'll see you soon.